Well, ahoy there, cruisers, and welcome aboard MSC MERAVIGLIA. I'm going to take you on a full walkthrough tour and give you some tips along the way. This is a really nice ship. It's one of the biggest cruise ships in the world. It's a gigantic ship, and it's absolutely beautiful. Let's go. And here we are on board MSC MERAVIGLIA. Now, the first thing we do when we get on a cruise is watch the pilot boat. These guys are awesome. They help the captain drive the cruise ship out of port, and then they jump off the ship. So tip number 1, always watch the pilot boat. Now we're starting our tour down on the boardwalk. I've noticed more and more cruise ships don't have a boardwalk anymore. I love going and walking by the lifeboats, strolling around deck, getting fresh air, watching the wide open ocean, watching the ship move through the water. It's never crowded down here on the boardwalk, and that's pretty rare for a big resort-style party ship like this. And it's not designed with restaurants and bars and pools in mind. It's just a good old-fashioned boardwalk, and I love that. Heading inside, we see the insane promenade. We see the ceiling filled with LED lights, and the ceiling changes all throughout the cruise for all kind of different vibes and parties. It's a beautiful promenade on this ship. You can definitely tell that they copied Royal Caribbean's concept with the Royal Promenade. You have that Main Street city feel down the center of the ship. Royal Caribbean was the first to do this on the Voyager class, so MSC is copying them, but that's for good reason because it's a really cool design. It was really an engineering marvel when Royal Caribbean put a city in the middle of their ships, which they first did on the Voyager class in 1999. But MSC adds their own flair to it. MSC, being a European brand, adds that European style to it. You can tell on the fonts they use on the storefronts here, the lighting, a bit of a stone look to it, the shine. It kind of reminds me of Ferrari's brand. MSC and Ferrari are both Italian. And you have these Juliet balconies, very Roman type of look to them. So it's really a beautiful promenade and a lot to do, a lot to look at. This beautiful Italian furniture with the shine and the lighting. I mean, there's a lot of detailed decorations here in the floor, the bar, the walls. There's really nothing bland about it. Beautiful interior design. And look at more stone with the columns. And this is a cool place to walk, and there's marble. It's almost like a waste of space, but it's beautiful, and so you gotta appreciate that they kept that in the design. And across the way they have this chocolate and coffee shop. The coffee on MSC ships is actually pretty good. I tend to like European coffee more than American coffee. MSC's coffee is better than Celebrity's coffee, I can tell you that much. And Celebrity is Royal Caribbean. MSC's coffee is also better than Holland America's, and that's Carnival. I think it's better because of the type of bean that MSC is using. They get it from Segafredo, and that's definitely better than Starbucks. On Celebrity and Holland America, I find that the coffee is watery. On MSC, it's actually pretty good. You can get coffee from like 10 different places on MERAVIGLIA. I'm not sure if I went to this shop in particular, but they all serve the same stuff. So we'll just keep strolling around looking at the ship. There's all these chocolates and cookies. This is also a candy shop, another thing to do, another place to sit and relax for a while. Across the way there's a Mexican taco place, and once you're inside it's a whole nother vibe. It's really a lot of decorations in here. I don't think Carnival and Royal Caribbean go to this same level of detail for their Mexican-themed restaurants and bars. Maybe I'm wrong, but to me it just looks like there's so much detail all over this ship. I mean, look at all the stuff in here. They really did a nice job. And of course you can get crepes and gelato, and this line is Italian, so it's definitely the best you can get at sea. This is the Ocean Cay restaurant, specialty dining type of thing. It's not the Ocean Cay in the Bahamas, that's just the name of the restaurant. Now that I look at it, it's actually kind of boring in here. Maybe this restaurant was a bit of an afterthought, I don't really know. It doesn't look like anything special, but it's also surprisingly small for a ship this big. MERAVIGLIA holds 4,500 passengers, so this is a really small restaurant. This Plaza MERAVIGLIA sign kind of reminds me of a Ferrari dealership, doesn't it? More shops in here with this really nice statue in the middle. Again, a detail that they could have left out, but it makes the ship look nicer, and that's really cool. And we'll head up these stairs here, again, really shiny, really bright. And when I say that, it's like brighter and shinier than all other ships I've been on. So there's something about that I like. MSC ships are glitzy and makes for a really nice atmosphere. We're making our way into the champagne bar before we head up to the pool deck in just a moment. Such a cool looking place here. Look at all the trim and the lights in the ceiling. Those decorative shapes out in the distance with the floor-to-ceiling windows. So much style in here. It's almost like Europeans care more about style and beauty more than Americans. And the atrium on this ship is really breathtaking. All the shine, the red carpet with the Swarovski crystal staircase. That's a staple on MSC. I really like these MSC atriums. I think they're my favorite in all of cruising. Have you noticed there's like not a lot of people in this tour? I filmed all this video at low crowd times. Most people are off the ship right now at Ocean Cay, and so that's the perfect time for us to enjoy the ship. This is what I do on vacation. Are you enjoying the tour so far? Hit that like button. Click subscribe. We got cruise t-shirts now. Check them out. So there's some people in this Edge cocktail bar. They look nice. That's a good tip to keep in mind though. You can really enjoy an entire cruise ship for yourself when in port. And you can still get off the ship later on in the day, but you can kind of strategically avoid crowds or take advantage of low crowd time on a cruise, and it can make your cruise a lot better. Or at least make for cool experiences. I mean, you can go to the pool, the spa, the gym, and there's not going to be anybody up there, and all of a sudden you're on this gigantic boat with like nobody on it. There's always a few people, of course. It'd be kind of creepy if there weren't, but it kind of feels like you got the boat to yourself, and it's really cool. So now we're up top, out on deck. There's nobody here. A lot of open deck space on this ship. People don't really come to this part in particular. On a really big ship like this, it can be kind of crowded at times. But there's certain parts that are just never really crowded. The wood here is not real. I don't think any big ships have real teak wood on deck anymore. The smaller types of ships have a real wood deck, like on Windstar. See, real teak smells good. It's the classic smell of a yacht or a really nice sailboat. Love the smell of teak. But really nice views up here, just a great day on a beautiful cruise ship. I always love looking at the radar tower. So much technology on these ships, they're incredible. I did the behind-the-scenes tour on this ship. I've done it on different ships quite a few times. If you don't know, there's a behind-the-scenes tour on cruises, and they take you to the bridge, the engine room, the kitchen. You see Deck Zero where the crew live and work. And they tell you all about the ship behind the scenes. The tours are usually like an hour and a half, but they only take a few people each cruise. It's just kind of a liability to have passengers in the bridge and in the engine room. So you generally want to book this tour right when you get on the ship because they can fill up quickly. Though on this cruise, they actually didn't have enough sign-ups, so they started promoting it more, and that's when we signed up. So we're walking around the pool here. There's several hot tubs on this ship. These ones up top are nice. They hang over the side of the ship, but they're actually kind of small. They look bigger than they actually are. Once there's 4 people in there, you really feel like you're on top of each other. On a ship this big, they should have made these hot tubs a little bigger. There's more hot tubs at the indoor pool, which we'll see later on. The main pool is really nice, just the look and style of it. Big day beds, anyone can grab those day beds, there's no upcharge. Modern, luxury vibe, really a beautiful pool. You can tell you're on a newer ship, and great views from the pool too. So on that behind the scenes tour, the guys in the bridge were telling us about some of the problems they've had with the propulsion on this ship. More on that in a moment, but while we're up top here, great weather, real warm and sunny. People go jogging up here and walking. Now that I think of it, you can't really jog down on the lifeboat deck because it doesn't wrap around the whole ship. It's nice when the boardwalk wraps 360 degrees around the whole ship, but not here. Now we're in the Sky Lounge. The views up here are just insane. Some of the nicest views on the ship. It's a really great vibe in here. It's a good place to have a coffee and read for a while. Well, if it's a little chilly, or maybe if there's bad weather, or if you want a cool place out of the sun to relax for a bit, this is a really cool spot. It's also a nice bar at night. A lot of people up here, live music. You're looking over the pool and the ocean, and you can see the whole ship looking forward since it's so high up. It's one of my favorite places on this ship. Now, what I was saying about the problems with the ship's propulsion, this is a secret. Meraviglia has azipods, which are big propellers that rotate 360 degrees for better maneuverability of the ship. A lot of cruise ships have them, but I asked the first officer in the bridge why Meraviglia has azipods, but the newer ships in the class don't. Several ships that were launched after Meraviglia have the conventional fixed shaft. The Seaside class doesn't have azipods either, like MSC Seascape. So the Meraviglia class came out around the same time as the Seaside class. One has azipods and one doesn't, and some of the ships that came after Meraviglia in the same class aren't using azipods either. And so I asked the first officer why. And so he explained that azipods are one big moving part, and it can be difficult to access and repair all the little parts in there. So when one little part breaks, the whole thing breaks, and then it's a pain to get it fixed. They gotta go to dry dock. They'll try to hire divers, but they're still restricted because it's such a centralized part. So it's really a pain and expensive to maintain these things. A lot of lawsuits fly around about cruise ship azipods. Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Norwegian. They've all had several $100 million lawsuits around their azipod propulsion. So MSC doesn't seem to want to use azipods anymore either. Or at least they're not putting them on their new ships right now. So that's some behind the scenes secrets and juicy drama. But now we're standing under the funnel or smokestack, whatever you want to call it. They have the sports court and Formula One simulators. This is also technically where the sports bar is, but it kind of sucks on this ship. MSC Magnifica and Divina both have really good sports bars. This area is technically the sports bar on Meraviglia, but there's not really anywhere to watch a game. There's no bar stools. There's just these tables. I also never really saw this bar open. It's more like a babysitting type of thing rather than a sports bar. And this is where the bowling is, but compared to Divina, Divina has a sports bar with live sports and a bowling alley in the bar. Magnifica has a great sports bar as well, but on Meraviglia this feels more like a Chuck E. Cheese, so it's pretty disappointing. On Divina and Magnifica, I watched the NFL playoffs in the sports bars, and it was awesome. They had a great atmosphere. I wouldn't want to watch football in this Chuck E. Cheese situation, and I don't think they'd have TVs in here anyway. So it's really a shame. The sports bars are really nice on older MSC ships, and here it's an afterthought in the kids area. But having the kids area in one part of the ship is a good idea. Actually, on Magnifica, the kids area was in the aft lounge, and they clearly added it after the original design of the ship. I mean, it looked terrible, and kind of this swanky late-night lounge area was used for the kids area, which doesn't really make sense for anyone, so it's good they corrected that on Meraviglia. And right now, we're right between the water park and the main pool, so having all these kids' activities right here seems to make it easy for all the families. This area under the smokestack usually isn't used for much on other ships from what I can think of, so it seems to be a really good use of space. I will say though that they also jammed the gym into this smokestack area, which kind of sucks and there's no view. We'll be at the gym soon and you'll see why it's kind of disappointing. But first here we're at the Solarium. This is an indoor-outdoor pool. Right now they have the roof open. It's good that they have the retractable roof. Sometimes ships have the indoor pool and the roof doesn't open, so definitely good to have it retractable. And they actually do open it when it's a nice day, so that's good too. This is the second of 3 pools on Meraviglia. We saw the main pool, now we're seeing the indoor-outdoor pool, and there's one more in a bit. And of course it's good to have the indoor pool in case the weather's bad and it gets cold. Now the disappointing thing is that this is about as forward as you can get on Meraviglia. They really block off the entire forward part of the ship for MSC Yacht Club. The Yacht Club on Meraviglia is multiple decks high, it's really big, and it takes up basically the entire front of the ship. So if you're just a regular passenger, there's really a major block of the ship you can't go to, and that sucks. You can't even see the bow. There's no forward-looking view at all for non-yacht club guests, not even in the gym, not in the spa, nothing. But I'll stop complaining for just a second because the views from this hot tub are ridiculous. There's 2 of these and they hang over the side of the ship and it's just awesome. Again, a little small, but hey, at least there's nobody in here right now. So back to what I was saying about the yacht club. They know that's one of the best and most sought-after views on the ship, looking forward, and they reserve those views entirely for yacht club guests. I mean, not even the top deck either. The top deck or the sun deck portion in the front of the ship is also yacht club. I really hated that about this ship. No observation lounge looking forward, nothing if you're not in yacht club. But it's a nice solarium, and now we'll head to my favorite part of the ship, the water park. The slides here are actually really good. I went down them like 20 times a day. I absolutely love when cruise ships have water slides. Now, I'm getting a little older, and I kind of like the premium adult type of ships now, like Celebrity or Holland America. But that's a big thing you miss when you go to those premium cruise lines. They never have water slides. I get they're catering towards a different crowd, but what type of crowd doesn't like water slides? But anyway, here's an important tip. Here's how you do the water slides. Go like 30 minutes before the slides close. There's no line, and you can just go over and over and over again. I would go like 10 times in a row or more. I love these slides, and the views from on top of the tower are awesome. Better view than the stupid yacht club anyway. The ropes course was good too, but I didn't care to do that more than once. And we'll head towards the back of the ship, and there's another hot tub, and then there's the aft pool. I love when cruise ships have a good aft pool. 3 pools on Meraviglia, that's a lot. Most ships have 2. We're going to head back inside now to see all the restaurants and bars off the promenade, so the second floor of the promenade. And you see the ceiling changed again. It's pretty much every time you go in there, the ceiling changes. It looks awesome. They have a lot of different designs that go on this ceiling, so a few restaurants to stroll through here. This is the Sushi bar. The orange color is really cool and really nicely decorated. And it's really interesting how the atmosphere completely changes as you walk all over this ship, and here we see that again. And the atmosphere once again completely transforms as we make our way to the pub. This pub is really nicely decorated as well. Again, so much detail. Now I suppose this is the alternative to the sports bar, but there's still not that many ways to watch a game in here, but still a great place to hang out, and there's live music in here as well. And they have like 1,000 different types of beer in here, so that's good, I guess. The windows are fake, or I don't know, you can't see the ocean, so I don't like that. So we'll continue strolling around here. This ship is very sectional. They have designated areas for everything. This is the kids area. This is the restaurant area. This is the yacht club area. Every cruise ship is designed like that to some extent, but on Meraviglia you can definitely feel it. They get better and better at cost optimization and squeezing out every square foot of the ship to make money. which is understandable, but I'm just saying you can feel it. In addition to there being no forward access at all due to the yacht club, there's also only 2 stairwells / elevator lobbies. There's one elevator lobby in the front and one in the middle, and that's it. So if your room's in the back of the ship, you're gonna do a lot of walking, and it's from the middle of the ship back. So like half the ship would notice this. You have to walk a lot to get to the elevators. So they jammed a bunch of staterooms in the back of the ship, and I finally figured out why. Well, the Promenade takes out the entire middle of the ship. You got the city going through the center. So you gotta put rooms somewhere to make money. So they crowd them all in the back. So there are interior staterooms filling the entire back of the ship. That's why they don't have room for elevators back there. All the hallways back there also get kind of unorganized and confusing, which is pretty rare for cruise ships these days, but it looks like they desperately tried to make up for lost cabin space because of the Promenade, so much so that they even skipped out on elevators in the back. The lack of elevators is definitely a noticeable problem. One thing you could keep in mind, though it's not that helpful, is that there's single glass elevators on both sides of the ship towards the front. They can be useful, they don't get used that often. And they're cool because they're glass elevators facing the ocean. Our stateroom was in the back of the ship, so you just kind of notice the weird design. I'd try to book towards the middle of the front on this ship if you can, because of the lack of elevators. So that's a bit of complaining, but let me be clear. I was on MSC Magnifica, Divina, and Meraviglia, all within a few months of each other. And Meraviglia is the newest and definitely the best of the 3. And it's one of the best ships in the cruising industry, no doubt about it. But there's always some tips and secrets to keep in mind. So we've made our way back to the champagne bar, this time from the other direction. It's worth taking a look at because it's really a nice venue with the style and the modern feel to it. And the ceiling changed on us again here. The blue looks really cool. Still a few more venues to see here on Meraviglia. We'll head to the main dining rooms. Each one has a different vibe and they're very nice. The dining rooms are only 1 floor on this ship. Dining rooms are often 2 floors on other ships, and when they're 2 floors they feel more grand, and I like when there's 2 floors a little better, but these dining rooms are fine and the food was good. It was definitely pretty slow getting our food, and they pack a lot of people in here, so everyone's huddled real close to each other. So overall, a little too crowded in the dining room on this ship, and that's why it's slow. But when we continue strolling through here, you really get that glitzy feel again. So shiny, so beautiful. So that's one benefit to this layout. It's not one big 2-story dining room. They have quite a few different dining rooms with all different decor and vibes. But I believe most passengers end up eating in the same dining room each night anyway. This Panorama restaurant is for higher class passengers or whatever. So we'll take a look at the spa. There's a lot of really nice facilities in here, but there's one big problem with this spa. Now the spa for me is a big deal. Every ship I go on, I'll typically get the spa pass to go in the thermal suite and access saunas, steam rooms, and any other spa facilities. And the spa here is nice. They have all kind of different experiences. It's well decorated. But there's one major problem, and it's the reason I didn't get the spa pass on this ship. There's no windows. You can't see the ocean. There's no views. I'm not going to pay extra to go sit in the basement with no views. This is on deck 6. And in addition to that, I always go to the spa after going to the gym. Well, the gym is nowhere near this spa. The gym's up by the pool, so really far from the spa. So that's garbage. This gym's also very small for the number of passengers on this ship, so it gets pretty crowded. But right below the gym's the main buffet on the ship. Pretty typical looking. Nothing really stands out about it. I really like the lunch on MSC, though. It's very Italian. They make the pasta fresh on board. I kind of like the European diet more than other cruise lines. And this is the main theater. The main production shows on MSC are always really good. The production shows are better than on Celebrity and Holland America. They clearly invest more in that type of entertainment on MSC. They'll have acrobats suspended 20 feet in the air doing all kinds of flips. They'll have people on roller skates and jugglers. Versus on other lines, the main shows are just a sing and dance type of thing. I generally don't go to the main production shows, but on MSC I always go. They're definitely good. Now we're in the casino. I don't really gamble, but it seems really nice in here. Nice bar, nice atmosphere. And right behind the casino is the Carousel Lounge. This is a really cool spot on this ship, but it seems like it didn't quite get used as much as it could have. They have really good shows in here, but we didn't sign up in time. But it seemed like this lounge was closed a lot for rehearsals. But it's really a cool looking place. The views are awesome, but they mainly use it for shows, and the shows are at night, and at night you can't see out these windows. I didn't see them using this area for anything else, so if you're gonna use this space at night, why not put it more in the center of the ship and actually use the incredible views for a more functional lounge? But this ship is absolutely beautiful. So many great places with great views. I was blown away by MSC Meraviglia. I hope you were too. It's definitely one of my favorite ships. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit that subscribe button and the like button. It really helps out. And most importantly, keep cruising.